My name is Sarah Jenkins. I'm 32 years old, and I'm a freelance graphic designer. The knot in my stomach tightened as my mother, Eleanor, chirped about their upcoming staycation over our video call. Her voice was light, almost too light, as she described plans for reorganizing the garage and finally tackling the overgrown rose bushes. "It's going to be so boring, darling," she sighed, a performative pout on her lips. But my eyes weren't on her face. They were fixed on the background of her kitchen, specifically on a brightly striped beach towel, a vibrant mix of turquoise, coral, and yellow, hanging over the back of a chair. It was the exact towel we'd used on every family vacation to the Outer Banks since I was 10. The casual lie, delivered with such practiced ease, felt like a punch to the gut. I managed a tight smile, murmured something about enjoying the quiet, and ended the call, my mind already racing. They were lying. And I was going to find out where they'd gone without me. To understand why a beach towel could unravel years of family dynamics, you need to know a bit about the Jenkins family. My parents, Eleanor and Robert, always favored my younger sister, Chloe. She was the bubbly, effortless one, fitting perfectly into their vision of a happy family. I was the quiet observer, the one who preferred sketching to social gatherings, the one who often felt like an afterthought. Vacations, especially our annual trips to the Outer Banks, were the rare times I felt truly connected. I cherished collecting conch shells with my dad, the salty air, the taste of melting ice cream on the pier. But as I grew up and moved out for college, those invitations became less direct, then less frequent. "Oh, you're so busy with your art," Mom would say, or "we didn't want to bother you." It was always a gentle exclusion, never an outright snub, making it harder to challenge. This year, the exclusion felt different. A few weeks prior, when I'd asked about summer plans, Eleanor had launched into a detailed explanation of their staycation, a carefully curated list of home improvement projects and local errands. She even mentioned Robert's back acting up, making travel impossible. The beach towel, however, told a different story. It was draped over a chair that looked nothing like our old kitchen chairs, and the sunlight streaming through the window was too bright, too coastal, for our landlocked suburban home. My graphic designer's eye for detail, for patterns and inconsistencies, was screaming. I called Chloe a few hours later, trying to sound casual. "Hey, how's the staycation going?" I asked, hoping to catch her off guard. She sounded a little too cheerful, a little too quick to answer. "Oh, it's great. Dad and I are just about to tackle the rose bushes. Such a mess, you know?" Her voice was clear, but in the background, I could hear a faint, rhythmic crashing sound, not the wind chimes from our backyard, but something deeper, more expansive. The sound of waves. My suspicion solidified into certainty. That night, I did something I rarely did. I checked my Aunt Carol's Facebook page. Aunt Carol, my mother's sister, was notoriously bad at social media privacy settings. While my parents had me blocked from their private family updates group, Aunt Carol was still connected to me. Sure enough, there it was, a picture posted just 2 days ago. My mom, dad, and Chloe, all smiling, standing on a wooden pier with the ocean stretching out behind them. My mom was holding a small conch shell, just like the ones we used to collect. The caption read, "So happy to finally reunite with the family in Nag's Head. Such a beautiful week with Eleanor, Robert, and Chloe." My heart sank. Nag's Head. A familiar, beloved place. Within minutes, the post disappeared. Aunt Carol must have realized her mistake. But I had already taken a screenshot. The deleted post was a clear sign. They weren't just on vacation without me, they were actively trying to hide it. The next morning, I remembered my mom's habit of uploading photos to a private family album she thought only a select few could see. I had been removed from the main family updates group, but I was still on the list for this older, less frequently used album. I logged in, my fingers trembling slightly. There it was, a photo dump from 3 days ago. My family, Chloe included, laughing on a pier, eating ice cream from a recognizable local shop, and one shot of my dad fishing with the vast ocean in the background. The location tag was subtly blurred, but the visual clues were undeniable. The specific shape of the pier, the distinctive red and white striped awning of the ice cream parlor, even the unique pattern of the sand dunes in the distance, it was all Nag's Head. I called my dad, Robert, under the pretense of needing help with a stubborn faucet at his house. "Hey Dad, quick question about plumbing," I began. He sounded distracted, his voice slightly muffled. "Sarah, ho. Nay, I'm really in the middle of something with the house right now. This renovation is taking up all my time." There was a distinct squawk in the background, unmistakably a seagull. "And the renovation he mentioned?" I knew for a fact they hadn't planned any major work. He quickly said he'd call me back later and hung up. The evasiveness, the background noise, the transparent lie, it all added up. It was almost comical how many breadcrumbs they left, once I started looking. I remembered my mom's obsession with a specific, slightly kitschy, local artisan shop in Nag's Head that sold hand-painted ceramic crabs. She had a whole collection of them. I pulled up the shop's public Instagram page, scrolling through their recent stories. And there it was. A short video, posted just yesterday, showcasing a new collection of brightly painted ceramic crabs. In the background, laughing and pointing at something off camera, was a woman who looked exactly like my mother. Her distinct blonde bob, the way she held her hand to her mouth when she laughed, it was undeniably Eleanor. The shop's location was clearly tagged, Coastal Creations, Nag's Head, North Carolina. The evidence piled up, irrefutable and heartbreaking. It wasn't just a missed invitation or a misunderstanding. This was a deliberate, coordinated effort to exclude me and actively lie about it. They wanted me to believe they were home, struggling with mundane chores, while they were actually enjoying a cherished family tradition without me. The staycation was a carefully constructed cover story, designed to keep me in the dark. The deleted social media post, the blurred location tags, the rushed phone calls, it all spoke to a conscious decision to deceive. My family wasn't just vacationing, they were actively hiding their secret getaway from me. The recognition hit hard. I wasn't just overlooked, I was actively kept out. I didn't confront them immediately. I spent the next few days gathering my thoughts, letting the anger and hurt settle into a cold resolve. I reviewed my screenshots, Aunt Carol's deleted post, the private family album photos, the Coastal Creations Instagram story. I even found an old photograph from our last family trip to the Outer Banks, taken maybe 5 years ago, where we were all on the beach, and yes, that same striped beach towel was spread out in the foreground. I looked up rental properties in Nag's Head, just to see the type of place they might have booked. My graphic designer's brain, trained to spot patterns and inconsistencies, was now meticulously cataloging every piece of their deception. I knew their exact rental address, the dates, even the name of the ice cream shop Chloe had been tagged at. I had everything I needed. I waited until they returned home, a week later. They called me, full of stories about how exhausting their staycation had been, how much work they'd done on the house. Eleanor even complained about a terrible sunburn she'd gotten from working in the garden, a detail that made my blood run cold. I invited them over for dinner the following Saturday, promising to cook their favorite lasagna. I wanted to do this face to face, calmly, with no room for evasion. The evening started normally. We ate, we chatted about mundane things. The air was thick with their manufactured cheerfulness. As we finished the meal, I brought out a framed photograph from a past Outer Banks vacation, one where we were all younger, standing on the beach, each of us holding a conch shell we'd found. "You know," I said, my voice steady, "I was looking through old photos this week, and I really miss our Outer Banks trips. They were always so special." Eleanor nodded, a wistful look on her face. Robert cleared his throat, avoiding my gaze. Chloe fiddled with her fork. Then, I took a deep breath. "It's funny," I continued, "because I saw something that made me think of those trips. Mom, that striped beach towel you had hanging in the background of our video call? It looked just like the one in this picture." And then Aunt Carol posted a photo of you all in Nag's Head, holding a conch shell, before she quickly deleted it. "And Chloe, that ice cream shop you were tagged at in the private album? It's right on the pier there. And Mom, I even saw you in the background of Coastal Creations' Instagram story, buying more of those ceramic crabs." I paused, letting my words hang in the air. So, I finished, my voice quiet but firm. How was your staycation in Nag's Head? The silence that followed was deafening. Eleanor's face went from pale to flushed. Robert stared fixedly at his plate, his jaw tight. Chloe looked like a deer caught in headlights, her eyes wide with guilt. Finally, Eleanor managed to stammer, "Sarah, darling, it was a last-minute thing. You've been so busy with your work, we didn't want to bother you. We just thought." Her voice trailed off, the flimsy excuse crumbling under the weight of my evidence. Robert mumbled some effing about not wanting to inconvenience anyone. Chloe just shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. "I'm sorry, Sarah," she whispered. "I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just looked at them, one by one." "It wasn't about being busy," I said, my voice still calm. "It was about being lied to. About being actively excluded from something that clearly meant a lot to all of you. You went to great lengths to hide it. That's what hurts." The trust, which had always been fragile, shattered completely in that moment. They offered weak apologies, tried to explain it away as a misunderstanding, but the damage was done. I told them that I wouldn't tolerate being lied to or excluded anymore. I wouldn't chase them for affection or inclusion. I would step back. The relationship became distant. They tried to mend things, sending me photos of future trips they were planning, inviting me with a forced enthusiasm that felt hollow. But the spontaneity, the warmth, the feeling of belonging, was gone. I politely declined, always citing genuine work commitments. I found new friends, built my own traditions, and started taking my own vacations to new places, collecting different kinds of shells. The framed photograph of us on the beach, holding our conch shells, still sits on my shelf. But it's no longer a symbol of cherished memories. Now, it's a quiet reminder of what I lost, and what I had to find for myself.